Hi folks. Right, okay. I'm going to speak about an issue again that I've spoken about a few times before, and yeah. The reason why in the past I've been so vocal about the issue of Mason Greenwood and Manchester United, and how so many fans have decided to judge and condemn this young man, is because I think what's going on is the same. It's the same thing as it is with people in the church. There's a lot of people in the church that know the way that things are going are wrong, and yet they won't stand up and say they're wrong because they made the decision and they're going to stick to it. You know, they're saying for years and years, yeah, the church is right, so therefore I'm going to stick to it. Those that have condemned Mason, they've done so, they've done so, they've done so, they've done so, they've done so. And then when the club comes out and says, yeah, the public were only given a portion of the audio. And then the club said, but now we've actually we've actually heard the whole audio. We know that he was not guilty. Yeah. Well, initially there were two audios out there. I found the earlier clip, as in the earlier conversation first, where basically the two of them, Mason and his girlfriend, are arguing a little bit. Mason keeps on asking her to get off of him, and eventually says, if you don't get off, you won't like what I'm going to do. Right? Because she was clearly sitting on him. She was basically taking the mickey out of him, you know, knowing that he was getting fed up with this, but she wouldn't get off. And she was recording all this. Yes. The next clip of that is him saying, move your legs up, in a bit of an annoyed tone. Then she says, oh, it's because I refuse to have sex with you. He then says, I don't care what you refuse to do, what you said no to. I think he said what you said no to. I don't care what you said no to. Just move them. Right? Okay. If you just have the second audio on its own, that sounds bad. Have the second audio with the first. You know what he's talking about in the second audio, which was the one that most people heard. They didn't hear the first bit. So the club heard the complete. So the club came out and said he's not guilty. The problem is people can't then go back and say, okay, I got it wrong. Right, okay. There's a good chance I got it wrong, so I can't be judging him. Okay, I apologise. Yeah, I shouldn't have been judging this young man. It was wrong. The problem is, what they do is they double down. Yeah, the reason why I've been annoyed with the person who calls himself Mark Goldbridge, the reason I say it is because that is not his name. He's done a video in the past saying what his name is, and Mark Goldbridge is not actually his name. Youssef or something is his name. Anyway, he's come out saying the police only dropped the charges. He was not found innocent. But he can't be found innocent if he doesn't go to court. That's the point. If it doesn't go to court, he can't be found innocent. Once he's been charged, the only thing they can do if there's no evidence is drop the charges. Dropping the charges means innocent. The problem is people can see dropping the charges means they just don't have evidence. Well, if they don't have evidence, it means innocent. Doesn't it? That's the point. If they don't have evidence, they should not have lifted him and charged him in the first place. The reason why they did is because this big name, this young player who is the hot talent in England, the hottest really at the time, This dynamic goal scorer from Man United who's breaking into the England team now. Big for these police officers and for the prosecutors in the area. So of course, they wanted to prosecute, so therefore they had to charge him. And part of the reason why they charged is so they can hold him for longer, and they can question him and go look around and poke around here, there, and everywhere. And eventually, they had no evidence. Now, if I was Mason Greenwood, I'm not saying if I was advising him, but if I was Mason Greenwood, where he is, I would have got my solicitor to absolutely sue the crap out of the prosecution and the CPS and the police. And any news networks who actually printed loads of vile stuff about him, I'd go after them. The problem is, because he didn't, makes it look as if he's guilty. It does. But I had to laugh earlier today because I watched a little clip. He had his first appearance for Getafe, and he was playing on the right, and he actually got to the byline, crossed the ball in a number of times. And that's exactly what Man United needs, someone on the right who can do that. And and so the fans are crying out for a player who can do that, and they've got one. But they've cursed him to such a point that the club had to send him away. The club don't care about what opposition fans are going to do or what the media is going to say. What they care is about their own fans. So if their own fans are cursing their player, well, opposition fans are going to chant anyway. They're going to make stuff up if they don't actually have anything. So, because they do that to try and put the player off, right? Same as recently, fans were jeering up Maguire every time the ball went to him, the Scottish fans, in the international game. And that's because they're trying to get at him. Fans will do that. That's what opposition fans do in a football match. It's all part of the game, football. The fans play their part. They're trying to help their team by doing that. So it's like, okay, you've got to expect that, and the Man United people know that that's going to happen. So yeah, we'll put it this way: if if Anthony comes back and plays, he's going to get that level of abuse from the opposition anyway, because he's been accused of abusing his ex-wife and another woman, I do believe, or at least another woman. Yeah, how many I do not know, but yeah. But yeah, as I say, it's the same thing. It's, well, no, I'd rather go to hell than change my position, because changing my position, pride gets hurt. It's so incredibly stupid, and yeah, as I say, from the position of a fan of the club, or used to be at least, seeing that Greenwood is doing okay where he's gone to, and he's doing what United need a player to do, that's quite sweet, really. So, yeah. It is what it is, but talking about fans shooting himself in the foot, really. There you go. Yeah. I wish Greenwood well. I wish Anthony well. I don't know what his situation is, but if he's not guilty, then I hope that he doesn't get labelled, because the problem is the world does love to label. It's it's a thing that people like to do, is put people in boxes and label them. And when they put you in a nasty box and label you, that's going to be tough. Yeah. And I hope his relationship with his girlfriend and their child does last. I don't think it will. Mason Greenwood, that is. I don't think it will, because she did this. She could have done it by just coming out and saying, look, no, it was innocent. He was not threatening to force himself upon me. She could have done that, but she didn't. She didn't. She could have sorted all that out, but she didn't. Yeah. That was down to her. She was protecting herself, and she didn't want people abusing her. Fine abusing him because of the stuff that she put out. And I think at some point he's going to look at his career. He's going to look at the fact that he was an emerging player for England, and that stopped dead at that point when she did that. Because I don't think he'll ever play for England again. I don't think so. And so, yeah. She did it. Why she did it, I don't know. But at some point, I think that's going to come back. He's going to start to think about that while they're together. And the consequences are going to hit because they haven't hit her yet. They've hit him, but not her. Not her. And the problem is, by that point in time, when he realises it, it's going to be too late for her to undo the damage. Because it's quite likely his career will be over by that point. Yeah, and when he looks at what he lost because of her, yeah, not good. So, we'll see. If he can forgive her and let it go, then that's great. So, let's hope he can do that. Right, you take care. God bless. I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.